Good evening.
Hi. Hello,
Hi.
everyone. Ramya.
Welcome everyone. My name is Ramya. I'm a professor and a coach. And I'd love to introduce my colleague and very dear friend, Vani, who is also, she's been a software manager turned coach and also marketing and branding expert. And together, the two of us are here to talk about questions related to the Superbloom Fellowship Program. And each one of us is going to be anchoring 6 months of the program. And we're delighted to be talking to you about it. So you can read up more about us on the just to let you know, even before we start, in case you've stumbled across this video without knowing what this program is, we'll put a link to our program website where we've put the entire details, the curriculum, FAQs. So you can read all of that. And you'll also have our detailed profiles there to find out more about us, as well as the rest of the team and the other facilitator, Beth, who will be also facilitating part of the program with us. But yeah, so for now, this is just questions that we asked some of the registrants to send in by email, which we are addressing today. And we'll start with a little bit, maybe we'll start with giving you a little overview about why we created this program, and then start. Gayatri is here. Her video is not on, but she's going to be reading out the questions and we'll address them one by one. So over to you, Vani. And do you want to, talk a little about Superbloom itself and then the Superbloom Fellowship and what gets you excited about it?
Thank you, Ramya. Yeah, I've always been a storyteller. And what caught me was your video with the storytelling about, by the way, that is also on the website, her motivation, your motivation on starting a program that we then branded as Superbloom Fellowship. The program, what caught me was like, is it me or is it the world? And that it is both is a question that it's something that I've also struggled with. And I've also come to the conclusion, yes, some of the inner work has to be done and some systemic things have to change. What I'm talking about is, I didn't lead with the women equality thing. It's when you reach a certain stage in the career path, women, that's where women start becoming more, I wouldn't use the word, it's more like they do struggle with their progress. There might be, stumbling blocks, which is systemic. It could also be questions about why am I doing this, which I think is a question that everyone asks at some point in their career. But we're going to focus on the women part, women especially, not women part, women, and talk about what is it that they could do to redefine their self, grow and become more of what they want to be, and not be held back in any way. There are many right now there's a lot of discussion around that, on especially because today is the US Women Equality Day, and there's a lot of question on how to make our teams more diverse, how to support women. And when you mentioned the program that you're working on, that's what got me excited. So I want to be there. I want to support women to be able to do what they want to do, be it, the word ambition is something that's, always seen as a negative one, because somehow it's assumed that means you have to be a different person, not just, be a mother, a caregiver, or a parent. I mean, it works for men too. It's the same question. I think it's just that for women, it's much more of a struggle. And I would like to know more about why is it a struggle and how to overcome that. Most people have probably reflected on why, but how would be a great, question. And that's what I hope our program can answer. In the first 6 months, you would be taking those questions on and you'll be tackling those parts of it. And so I would like to know more about the program. As you said, we could read it up on our web page. And what more could you add to that? And what is some of the questions that we could answer today regarding the program structure or what we aim to do what we hope people will take away from our program.
Yeah, absolutely. And what makes me really interested in this program and how I think it's different is that the glass ceilings and the upper limits, of course they come from outside, but they also come from inside. So the also is very important here because and we've been talking a lot about this, right? Even internally. So we absolutely don't want women to ever feel, and our participants to ever feel, that the burden is completely on us to do all the work. No, the burden is on the entire society, and it has to change. It is changing. And, we have members of our team ourselves. In fact, Raji is doing so much to change that in the external world. And we're going to, be incorporating elements of how we can make that change. But there is an also component to it, which is inside our own minds, inside our own mental models. And because it's conditioning, and that's how our brain works, most of us don't even realize that we've put ourselves into these boxes or built these narratives of who we are and what we can do and what we can't do. And we've just been absorbing in things that we've been conditioned to by parents, teachers, friends, society. And this is why I love doing inner work, because unless we start doing it, and this is what I've found with people I've worked with over the years, including myself, which is, it's like layers of an onion. You peel the outermost layer, and then you realize that, oh my God, I have another limiting belief. And then you peel that and you say, okay, I have another fear. And then you peel that. So it's an ongoing journey. It's not like any of us have completely, like we are all co-travelers. And that's why it's like, I'm just going to mute other people here except me and Vani, so that, yeah. So, that's why I feel very privileged, to be a facilitator in the inner journey of the people who will be joining this program. And what makes it even more beautiful is that it's a group program. We're doing it collectively, which means, like I told you, we're not even aware of our own conditioning and these ceilings and beliefs we form. But when we work in a group, like let's say Vani and I are talking about something, and then Vani says something, and it's in my blind spot. I've never seen it. I never thought that, oh, that's the thing that has held me back. But as Vani works through it, then there might be an awareness that, yes, of course, because, I might suddenly feel that my heart is beating faster and I'm resonating. And, sometimes our body tells us things that our brain doesn't let us see. So as she's speaking, I might find my body getting a little more charged or agitated. And I know this is a thing for me as well, which is celebration. That discomfort is celebration time, because now I can actually work on it. So I actually believe that working in groups is more powerful when we are working on topics like inner work and unconditioning than one-on-one. So I'm very excited about what we're going to be doing through this program.
Yeah, true. As you said, that was one of the reasons why this is a group program, right? The cohort building is because so that people could learn from each other without being it a real, something that is on conscious level, but they learn all the time from each other and they resonate, and then they take away something new, as you said, from our blind spots, perhaps.
Yeah.
And they feel empowered.
Yeah, and then they're there to support one another. So participants we would be working in a group together in sessions when we will be facilitating you, but you will also be working in smaller groups or pods. And the beauty of that is that you form really intimate connections with people in your smaller group, and you're there as accountability buddies. You're there to push one another, and you have a support structure in place, which is the other gift in what I believe we have created as a program. So yeah,
it's great. That's one of the things that we'll be tackling in the second half too, is that we keep encouraging, of course, in the first 6 months, they form bonds among themselves, we hope, and that they would learn from each other even outside the program. But we also hope to support that in a structured manner in the second half, the flourishing phase, Dr. Beth Duckles, as you said, she would conduct a workshop on how to network and how to, that again, networking without feeling like is this something for me? That's a question that people ask often, right? Is networking something for me? Oh no, that involves going somewhere and talking to someone. Does it feel like as if, I'm asking for something? Is it like a one-way thing? Those are the kind of questions we'll be tackling and trying to, overcome those boundaries that we have put on ourselves. And that'll be part of the second one too, where we'll have workshops where other experts come in and can give us some tips and tricks and tools to work through those things, which we will be working on anyway throughout the program.
Yeah.
So it also depends on what comes up for the cohorts, right? So the second half has a lot of flexibility still built in, depending on the kind of cohorts and the needs they have. When they go through the program and there's a need arising, let's say they need to learn something particularly about, I don't know, LinkedIn, then as a network platform or another platform that somebody has figured out, then we'll have a session on that. So that's what we're hoping in the flourishing phase, to take what they have been practicing and practice some more with the help of women that have already walked that path, perhaps.
Yeah, and there are two very important things there, which, Vani just said, I'm going to reiterate. One is that, while we have a structured curriculum for the foundation phase, we've kept the flourishing phase open precisely for this reason, that it's going to be customized to what comes up for the group and for the participants, right? And we have ideas, but we haven't locked it into a curriculum, so to say. The other very important thing that she, talked about, and she used the example of networking, but it's going to be that way with all the outer work that we do. So it's 60% inner work and 40% outer work. And what is outer work? Outer work is like when you go out and do things, right? Networking being one example. And this is where our program is going to be different from a standard management program. And I can say this because I teach in a management school and I've done a lot of management development programs. That's been my profession for 20 years. So typically in a management program, like, we come from a place of, this is what the literature knows, this is what the experts say, this is what you should do, this is how you should do it, and we are telling you to do it, right? But so come on, get up and do it, which actually is fine. It is a way of growth, but it's also sort of coming from a place of best practices. We're going to follow a little more of an inside out approach in our program, which is why I love the word Superbloom. It's blooming, right? So a rose just blooms into a more magnificent rose. You can't have a rose turn into a lily, and you can't have a rose turn into a sunflower, right? So you can't have a rose, hey, put your petals flat like a sunflower. No, it ain't going to happen. So if you're feeling, so even when it comes to networking, whatever it is, whether it's networking or negotiating or going out and talking to your boss and redefining your job, or whether it is asking for a raise, or whether it is, taking on more responsibilities, or whether it is pushing your boundaries and setting your boundaries and saying, no, this is what I will do. Whatever it is, you do it from a place of authentic you. So there is a lot of focus on really each one of you getting to know your authentic strengths, what drives you, coming from your core, so to say. It is your core that we will be just facilitating, inviting, and giving you tools for you to flourish from your core. So it's not going to be to do this because you have to do it and do it in this way. Do it in your way, in a way that makes you come alive. And of course, not to say that you're not going to be pushed, but you're not going to be pushed, actually. You're going to be invited and pulled and tempted and seduced and, prodded, not just by us, but by one another. So that is how we see the unfolding or the blooming of each one of us who takes part in this progress. I mean, I always learn and grow in every program or interaction I have with anyone, whether I'm a participant or a coach or a facilitator or a professor. So I am sure Vani and I and the rest of our team will be blooming to our next levels with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. That's a great example, analogy of the flower being itself, right? That a rose blooms into a rose and a sunflower blooms into a sunflower. There's no comparison. They are both blooming for, their own with their own flavor, their own beauty. And that's one of the things that, would be focusing on, that they find their own way of negotiating. They're finding their own way of asking for a raise. Yeah, absolutely.
Networking.
So
I'm sure Vani's way of networking is different from mine, is different from Raji's. We have on our team an excellent, someone who's really good at networking, Raji, right? But we all do it in our own flavors and with our own bhavas and in our own elements. And that's where it doesn't feel that icky and, doing something. So
yeah, exactly. That you take the ick factor out of it because it is authentically coming from myself. My need to be connected to people. That's what is at the bottom of it, but it could be done in many different ways. And some of those ways we can talk about them, and we'll discover everything that comes up for the pods and the participants throughout their journey.
Yeah. And the other way we take out the icky factor or the sticky factor, right? That, I have to do this factor. One is when you come from a place of complete authenticity. The other is when you connect it to your purpose or vision, or why are you doing it, right? So you're doing it in order to get the work done. And what is the work that you're doing? And what is the purpose behind it? What is the vision that you're connected to? So that's why that's the other part, one of the elements that we'll be covering. So, I personally find that, it becomes very easy for me to move, take steps, and allow myself to glow also, and grow also.
Absolutely glow.
Bloom when I know I'm not, it's not so much about Ramya. It's about the purpose. It's about the vision. I'm doing it for this cause, and I don't have to let go of who I am. So the authentic you is moving for a cause. It's becomes a very less burdensome journey and enjoyable.
True. Right.
Exactly. Should we take questions?
Yes. I have a few questions.
Yes. So one of the questions a lot of fellows had was, how do I know that this program is specific to my career needs, and how do I know if I am the right fit for the program?
Yeah. So we'll take it the other way around. So how do you know if the right fit for the program? So this is something, of course, we can help you with. So before you join, or even as you join, in order to put you into groups, we will be having 15-minute chats. People from our team will be having 15-minute chats with all the applicants, and we can help you figure that out. But I think the website and the content that we've put on the Superbloom website is going to let you know. Not everyone is going to be attracted to the content. If you are attracted to this content, I'll tell you, you're a good fit for it. Okay, it's just that simple. So basically, if the idea of blooming, the idea of being your best self, the idea of taking a bet on yourself, as one of our teammates, Raji, used that phrase yesterday. This is really about taking a bet on yourself. It's about you, right? If that excites you, you're a fit for this program. Now, sorry, Gayatri, what was the first part of the question?
Will the program be tailored to my career needs?
Yes, it will. So the reason the foundation phase has a container and has a structure, and that structure has been created based on my experience of working with people so far. And so it works for most people, but treat it as a broad container. So in each week, so we have 6 topics. So think of it as 6 sub-modules. In each one of that, there is going to be some not recorded content, some standard content, right? But there's also going to be live interaction, and there's going to be coaching. And that's where it gets completely customized to you, not just you, but the others who are, part of the cohort as well. So that part of it is completely customized and completely tailored to your needs. So yes, the answer is it is going to be tailored, but with a structure, which I think is much better, right? Because you don't just go off into a tangent, because we have the broad agenda is to really help you break those barriers and to move and to shine. The second phase, flourishing, is going to be even more tailored to your needs. So that's where, we're going to bring in whatever you ask and whatever we also, would be observing and taking notes. And we'll really be looking at what is coming up, and we will also co-create, right? So it's not just requests. It's not just a request put together, but we will use our judgment and observations also to fine tune the flourishing phase for you and your career specifically.
This
Vani,
video
you
was
want to add to that? Sorry.
Thank
I
you
just
so
wanted
much.
to hear what you said. Thank you, Gayatri, because you said something which I think they could start, they get a feel for the program. You ask them, see whether it resonates with them. So we're encouraging you to listen to your, the instinct that you have already. So that's part of what we will be honing, is that what we call instinct is something, not given so much importance nowadays, or it was not given importance in the corporate world, because it's something, the feminine intuition, as they say, was always, given a bad name because it was not useful, but that's not true. Millions years of evolution has given us feelings. And as I said, if you feel that this would be something you want to do, please join us. Come in and let us help you figure out what we can do together. And as Ramya said, we'll co-create a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah.
And to add to what Vani said, we're doing it the feminine way. We are not excluding intuition, feeling, beauty, grace, whatever. And, I don't want to make this very stereotypical. So, and I'm not going to generalize it. I'm just going to own my experience here. I did feel when I worked, so before I became a professor, I worked, so academia was fairly more inviting of it allowed me to bring in my femininity with me broadly. But before that, in the corporate world, at least the companies that I worked in, I had to cut off, hide, camouflage a lot of what I believe are my feminine strengths and superpowers. And so it was almost like it was a handicapped version of me that was working. So yeah, we're going to unravel that as well. So if there are others, if you have been handicapping yourself by cutting off what I will call your feminine superpowers, and you're going to be invited to bring them all in and to use them.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Do we have another question, Gayatri?
Yes, ma'am. So there's also an option for other people to nominate fellows to the program. So why should someone choose to nominate a fellow for the program, and how will it benefit the organization if they choose to nominate a fellow?
Yeah. If I may, Ramya, I'm just going to be blunt about it. Every Women's Day, as you know, corporates put out messages saying, we want to support you. And there was a lot of hashtags going around, right? Every 8th of March. So this is their way of actually doing something. And they can sponsor someone they consider to be a leader in their, and support their future leaders. And most of those corporate responsibility programs do want to support such programs. So we think if they can leverage that, then they're also showing faith and show a career path. Because now, the great resignation and all that, when people can't see a clear path ahead, like Ramya said about the purpose, if they can't see why they're doing something, and wouldn't it be great if they figured out that their purpose is in alignment with what their performance is, their job requirement is. So that's one of the things I would like to invite the corporates to think about, that they nominate their leaders, their future leaders, if it is so, and that they can, show them the support in not just as this hashtag, but also more hands-on support. So that would be my request.
Absolutely. And, I'm going to put my management professor hat on now and say, yes, for your bottom line, right? So every company exists to make money. Who makes money for it? The employees and the leaders. How do they make more money when they perform better or less money? More money when they perform better. So should we empower them to perform better? Yes, to make more money, you want to empower them. And are women really being empowered as much as they could to have their potential bloom? Just like I told you, if you had a handicapped version of me working in Citibank, which I was, were you really using the gifts and strengths and talents that Ramya could bring to the organization? No. So if you send her to a training, which allows her to bring her best self to work, to life and work, you're going to make more money. That's why you should sponsor her. And if you
Yeah.
are the, her leader, you are going to get a star in your team. That's why.
Yeah. And, recently Serena Williams had written a whole article on why she was stepping down. And she said something that resonated with me. If I made it, I want to help at least one person make it too. So give a hand, help someone grow. And that makes you grow too. Like you said, right? We as a coach, when we coach, we grow. That's because we take a lot of it from it. We grow when others grow along with us. The Superbloom theory is that it just breaks out. The whole thing is carpeted with flowers. So come and join us in bloom.
Thank you for the wonderful answers, ma'am. And one more question that they had was how the interview process for the program is going to look like.
Yeah. So, it's don't think of it so much as an interview. Think of it more as the earlier question: Are you a fit? Are we a fit? And just getting to know. Also, as a way for us to figure out how we're going to make these pods, the smaller groups that you'll be working on. So each pod will be 3 to 5 people, and we want to make sure that we match you into pods where it's win-win and the best nurturing for each one. So that's what it's about. Bunny? Yeah.
Yeah. So as Ramya said, it'll be 15 minutes that you talk to us. We could answer your questions, and we also get a feel for who is in which group and how we're going to split the groups, because we won't be able to, we want to give the best possible, experience for you. So it has to be a smaller group, right? So and Ramya's experience has shown that 3 to 5 is the best size. So we need to work how to split the group. And for that, we need more information. And maybe you also want to ask us any questions. So we'll kind of have a chat, so to speak.
Thank you, ma'am. One of the other questions was, I have a full-time job. So what is the time commitment that would be required from me for the program? And how will the sessions be spaced out?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. So the good news is that because it's a year-long fellowship, that's why it's not going to be a crash course. You don't have to take a holiday from your job, from your work, from your kids. And I think that's when actually change and personal development happens best, because whatever is happening, it's happening in an integrated way. So that said, we're going to be having one live session every fortnight. Once you will be meeting with your pod every fortnight, and the rest of it is going to be recorded content or reading material that you can do at your own pace and time. So I really see about 5 hours that you need to put aside every fortnight. And so you can really pace it out, right? Whether you want to do it all over the weekend or you want to space it out, which means it really comes to about 2.5 hours per week is my estimate. And it might be even lesser in the flourishing phase, but you will have all the content available from the foundation phase also during the flourishing phase, which means if those of you who have more time and you want to go up and we're going to be sending you extra resources to read, you want to do more stuff, you can, but this would be the minimum yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. That's it for the questions from the fellows. Does anyone else here have any questions for Dr. Ramya and Kalivani, ma'am?
Yeah, you can just unmute yourself and ask. Okay. Raji, Anu, do you think there's anything else we need to address or cover?
Hi. Hi. This is Raji. I work with Vani and Ramya in this project. I just want to highlight, it's more of a comment than a question. Want to highlight some of the unique things about this program and maybe have Vani and Ramya comment on it, because I did get asked this question offline. There are quite a few other programs aimed at women. So if we can talk about what in particular is different or what is unique about this program. so, maybe Ramya or Vani, you can emphasize some of the key differences and why we also thought of those, features as something that we should address in this program.
Yeah. So excellent question. And I'll take a shot at it first, right? This is, so I myself have done women leadership programs for companies, right? Customized programs. And I've done 3-day workshops. I've anchored 5-day workshops at IIM Bangalore. And how is it this different? So in these workshops, it's more like we're teaching management theories, right? And it's like almost like a mini MBA. Apart from that, as an aside, both Vani and I also coaches, and coaching is different from teaching, right? So as coaches, we don't teach, we don't tell, we don't prescribe, we don't advise, but we ask questions and we allow the coachee to actually create their own beautiful journey forward, and we facilitate them. I think this program is beautiful because we combine both. There is a teaching element, there is the mini MBA, so that's the recorded modules, and there is stuff that you will learn. There's also going to be, articles and stuff like that. But apart from that, there is also the facilitation and the coaching. The added element is the peer, the pods, the larger group, the community, and the flourishing phase is something that's, I'm so glad that we created it. It's something that, we actually talked a lot when we were designing it, and we said, we don't want to just do this and then leave people by themselves. So we want to hold that container for a longer time, so that not only do people have time to go back and, pull back because, take out, implement, walk the journey, ask their doubts, but we want to have external, experts come in. We want to bring in other people other than us, right? Who are practitioners, who can share their experiences, have interactions. So there is, so I see this as a very holistic support and container that we will be holding. And that's why it's like, I believe that we can actually, I see the transformation happening because of the duration and the container and the number of people who are going to be holding that container for you. So you have support from a lot of us, and that's also the diversity of support, right? So we all bring in different elements, different energies, the experts and the others, and Beth, who's also going to be there. So we are all going to be approaching this from our own perspectives. So you will actually be held in multiple ways and supported and nurtured, and each one of you can, pick and choose from that range. So that's also, I think, something very unique and something I'm very happy that we've created in this program.
Absolutely. Like you said, you use the word transformation, Ramya. That is thrown around a lot as transformational leadership, but doesn't happen overnight. As you said, a 5-day thing gives you the tools, but in this program, we let them actually practice, come in and use that time that they have allotted for the course to also come in and practice in a trusted environment, in a safe environment where they feel that they're all learning together. And yeah, so the transformational leadership, we believe, takes time, and we want to let that unfold, and we want to be there through that part where we can have them bloom. So it takes time, and that's what we thought we have to emphasize on, and that's an investment, right? It's an investment in yourself, which again is something that doesn't happen just in 2 hours. So invest in yourself, take a bet, and come and join us again and see. Let us support you for a whole year to go through that transformation that you're looking at. So yeah, we're excited about the journey, not just a crash course, as Ramya said. It's a crash course in any way. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Anu, if I may ask.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Anu, and I'm very excited to attend this course, and all the things you both are saying resonates very well with me. I do have a question. While I am excited to get into this journey, so this is a women-centric course, right? So do you envision making a gender neutral at some point or soon enough, that I feel that if you really want true change, this conversation should be had together, because 80% or 90% of my colleagues are male. And if they see what they can do to kind of recognize the unconscious bias that all of us have.
Yeah. So, and we've been asked this by a few other people as well on LinkedIn and elsewhere on one-on-one. And thank you, Anu, for raising it. So it's on the cards. It's on. So we would. We are still wondering if we might actually land up inviting men and opening up part of the flourishing phase for men. We haven't fully decided. Or we could just have a separate program that's, maybe a 3-month program and a sort of like an add-on container where, focus more on how men can understand and they also can, be part of this transformation. Because, yeah, it's like you said, we all have to own it together. So absolutely. It's on the cards.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I guess we're good then. Yeah. So, Vani, anything you want to add, or shall I wrap up?
Any other questions that are open? Did we answer all of your questions, Raji, Gayatri, and Anu? Or any follow-ups?
Yes, thank you very much. I think, just want to point out that there is also a lot of information on the website and an FAQ. Also feel free to email us. The email ID is in the website. With any other questions that may come up.
Yeah. So write to us and come on board. And we are looking forward to holding this container for anyone who wants to bloom with us. So look forward.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. And thank you, Ramya. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
Great. It was an energetic chat now. So
Same here.
thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Bye.